Hello everybody, I'm going to do a really simple video explaining how I do the coffee grounds and banana peels and eggshells as a mixture for my roses. Now sometimes I just do coffee grounds, but when I do save the eggshells and the banana peels, I will mix everything together and sprinkle lightly over my roses. And even in the garden, I will put them around the base and anything that I feel like needs a little just extra oomph. So the coffee grounds, I just put this in the corner. This is a large sink, but you can use whatever method you want. Tweak it however you want. But I saved the coffee grounds and a little old, already empty coffee container. So they're in the corner of the sink, and I just dump them in there. So that is that process. And then I'm going to show you what else I do. So I preheated the oven to 180, and then here on some tin foil is the eggshells and some banana peels. And I'm going to put those in the oven and let them slowly dry out. Here are the eggshells after they've been in the oven, and the banana peels are still a little moist, so I'm going to let them continue drying out for a few more minutes. But for the eggshells, they're now on parchment paper. And then I know that some people probably use a coffee grinder or a blender, but I don't want to do that because I don't want all this in the blender. So I just kind of do this. I'm doing this one-handed. It would be a lot better if I had two hands. And let's see, try not to make such a mess. And I'm just going to break up the eggshells because they're going to be part of my mixture. Okay, let's see how that looks. All right, probably going to do these just a little bit more because I like this size. And I don't use the blender or the coffee grinder because I just don't want to take a chance on eggshell being stuck in there and using it for that. So I just do this. It's kind of the old-fashioned way, I guess. Now, when I lived in Michigan, I had really gorgeous roses out front. People used to stop and tell me that my roses were the prettiest roses. And they used to come and take their walks in front of my house just to see my roses. And I was very proud of them. And one time, I counted the roses that were on the side yard, and they were growing up like had this little archway, arbor type thing. And I had 2 roses on each side. And so they overlapped each other. And one time I counted 50 roses. And they were gorgeous. So I'm going to check this again. Okay, that was looking good. So the reason why this one isn't, because it's still a little moist. I mean, it's not sticky, but it's not as dried out as it could be. So that's probably where some of the yolk was in there. I'll have to try a little harder. But that's okay. All right, I'm going to check on the bananas and I'll be right back. Okay, so here are the banana peels and they're dried out. And what I'm going to do is just cut them up with the scissors into small pieces. And again, one-handed, but just cut them up into little tiny pieces. And I'm going to do that and come back. Okay, so they're all cut up into small little pieces, and I'm going to add them to the eggs and the coffee grounds. Now, years ago in Michigan, I would just throw the whole entire banana peel, the brown, not the yellow, but I'd let them go brown, and just stick the whole peel, not bake it, not do any of this. I was a mom of 3 young children, and I just didn't have that kind of time, so I just threw the whole banana peel over it. But now I have a little bit more time on my hands, so I do this whole process now. Okay, and there it is. The coffee grounds, eggshell, and banana peels. Okay, so we're going to mix it all together. And then it's ready to put on the bases of the roses. So on last week's video, I was showing you the refresher lesson on how to cut back the roses. And this was the rose that I didn't do anything to, and this is the rose that I did, the rose bush I did. So those 3 I cut back, and this was the bloom that was last week's bloom. So it's done. I will cut it back to the 5th leaf right here. So I will be cutting that back to right there. And then this is the one I clipped last week, and look, new growth. 1, 2. So see, I cut it back to where the 5th leaf was, and then it sprouted right there. And that one. So I'm going to have some really pretty roses, because I told you last week that I needed to do some TLC on these. And this one I did. So I scraped off in this one all the yuckiness, dried leaves and pine needles and stuff like that, which I left alone because it does help in the winter. I just leave it alone. And so I scooped it all out, and I am going to put the mixture in here at the base. So. And then after I do this, I'm going to take new potting soil and put it over top. So this rose was called Intrigue. Let's see what else it says. Can't read it. It's gone. And then this one, so I'm going to scrape out all the dead leaves. Any little things I don't want in there. Okay. And put it around the base. And then I'll put fresh potting soil around here. Okay. And those are doing good. Now this is a different type, and you could see how I had all this kind of stuff protecting it. But this needs to be clipped. All of these need to be clipped. But they're doing good. I have cute little roses on them. And I'll do the same to these guys. See all the leaves and everything. So I'll take all that out and do the same thing. And see, the roots are showing here, so I need to give it some more potting soil. And I think squirrels dig, and you know, they get in it and take away some of the dirt. I transported them from one place to the next. So there we go. And that'll get some new potting soil. And I'll clip these back. So I have all these. Still waiting on this guy. He's not doing much of anything. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully the coffee ground banana and eggshell mixture will help it. It's not doing bad, it's just not producing. So it's a different kind than these. These are more bushier. So as you can see, I try and keep my videos short. This one's a little bit longer than usual, but I like to keep them short and simple, because quite frankly, if you make things too difficult, people just won't do it. So I think just tweak things that work for your life and keep it simple. And that's what I am trying to do in the videos, is just show you what I do. I'm not an expert. I'm just like to get my fingers dirty and my hands dirty and work in the yard. So these are just things I've picked up along the way, and I like to keep it simple. So I hope this is helpful to everybody, and I hope everyone has a great afternoon and happy gardening.